Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested. Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
54-year-old Army veteran and Ohio resident Terry Lindsey traveled to D.C. and he entered the Capitol with his friends Glenn Croy and Jennifer Horvath. After being on the Capitol grounds for a bit and witnessing violence against officers, Lindsey and Croy decided to take part in some of that. They joined a group of Trump supporters in taunting and yelling at officers. This is a group that had surrounded these officers. They were trying to prevent them from entering the building. I mentioned this in one of the other updates that I did on Horvath the other day. At one point, Lindsey was seen on body cam footage. He shoved one of the officers. He pushed the officer into Trump's mob. And a while later, he and his friends climbed the inauguration scaffolding to reach the Upper West Terrace. That's where they illegally entered the building. As he entered the Capitol, Lindsey joined the mob. He was chanting, "Whose house? Our house." And then he was part of that large group in the Capitol crypt that overwhelmed and got physical with the officers. Of course, Lindsey incriminated himself on social media. He posted photos of himself inside the building. He also sent photos and messages to family and friends. In one message, he wrote, quote, "We crashed the doors, overtook the Capitol," and quote, "taking what's ours." Then Lindsey was eventually forced out of the building by the police, but then he re-entered a while later. He went in again with Croy and Horvath. They got kicked out again, but they remained on the Capitol grounds for in total about 3 hours. They were in the Capitol and on Capitol grounds. Following the Capitol attack, Lindsey wrote to his granddaughter and he said, quote, "I feel great, proud to be a part of history." He also wrote to a friend and he said, quote, "One of the best days of my life fighting for freedom. I haven't felt this way since I was flying missions in the Army." Then in another message, he wrote, quote, "I've smoked dabs and a bowl on the steps of the Capitol of the United States." And then in response to a negative comment on one of his Facebook posts, Lindsey replied, quote, "Hell yes, I stand for the U.S. and next time we will bring our guns." Lindsey later told family members that he, quote, "stormed the Capitol and that the, quote, cops let us in after they realized that they could not stop it." But following his arrest, Lindsey told the FBI, quote, "I didn't do anything wrong," and quote, "nobody around where I was at was doing anything but standing down there and not minding our own business, but, screaming and chanting." That was it. And Lindsey repeatedly claimed that officers let them in. He said that they, quote, "stood outside peacefully, patriotically, protesting until they opened the doors and let us in." And then he actually told the agents that, quote, "by the time I got to the top of the steps, there were Capitol Hill police officers standing on each side of the door, and the doors were propped open, letting us come in. So I went in." And then he tried the old setup conspiracy theory. Lindsey told the FBI that he believed the police tried to rile the crowd up with pepper spray, and then they purposely allowed them into the building. And then he also lied by omission, and he failed to admit that he entered the building a second time. Lindsey said that after he exited the building the first time, he and his friends, quote, "walked back the way we came in and got in an Uber and went back to the hotel." So Lindsey was arrested on February 17th of last year. He was only charged, though, with entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading in a Capitol. In April of this year, Lindsey pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct in a restricted building, as well as the parading charge. So based on the most serious of the 2 misdemeanors, he was facing up to 1 year in prison, 1 year of probation, and 100,000 in fines. And this time the prosecutor actually asked for almost the full Monty. The prosecutor requested 1 year in jail, 1 year of probation, 60 hours of community service, and 500 in restitution. One reason appears to be the fact that while he was out on bail for his actions at the Capitol, he was arrested again for driving under the influence, driving with a suspended license, and a stop sign violation. So that was in February of this year. And then he failed to tell his pretrial service officer about that arrest. So they found out about it, but he didn't come clean. In addition, Lindsey has a pretty extensive criminal history. It includes 21 arrests and 8 convictions. And he was discharged from the Army under less than honorable conditions because the prosecutor said he was discharged in lieu of a court-martial. And they didn't specify why. While he was out on bail for January 6th, also, Lindsey was ordered to abstain from alcohol and drug use, but he tested positive for alcohol and or weed on 2 different occasions. And that was in just 1 month in May of this year. On top of all that, the prosecutor said that Lindsey had 2 additional run-ins with the police in June of this year, including one that resulted in a felony indictment for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. And because of that indictment, the prosecutor found out that Lindsey lied about his address. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say this guy has issues. Lindsey's attorney asked for a sentence of only 2 months, and he said that he needs to support his family, which, you know, they always say this. I mean, it's funny how none of them ever think of their family or what it could do to their family when they're out breaking the law on Trump's behalf. So anyway, in court, Lindsey told U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell, quote, "I am sorry about what happened. I am sorry about what my participation was." But the judge cited Lindsey's repeated violations of his release conditions, and so she ended up sentencing him to 5 months in jail, 3 years of probation, 60 hours of community service, and 500 in restitution. I wish she had just given him what the prosecutor asked for, but I'll take it. You know, it's better than what most of these judges have been handing out. So at least it's not, 2 months or probation or a halfway house or some BS. Anyway, guys, I have no doubt this guy will reoffend. I mean, it just seems to be a pattern in his life. All right, I'll let you know if I hear any more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. On YouTube, you can click on the Super Thanks link and leave a tip there, or one of the links down in the description box below. On TikTok, you can send me a gift. It's greatly appreciated, guys. Thank you so much. Love you all. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.